Hi everybody from the Listening Tree. This is your host Colin and Elizabeth, and we have a real special show today. We have Blue Paws Matter, we have Maya's Mission, and of course we have Officer Bloom and the star of the show, Koda, the Middletown Police Canine, and we're going to get right into his story. The nerd fact for you, the canine units were started over 100 years ago. Me and the gentleman here were talking about the history of it a little bit, and they started looking for Jack the Ripper, and basically came to the United States early on after that. So there's some nerd facts. We're going to get into it right now. So thank you. By the way, thank you all for doing this. Absolutely. You're all community here. So Canine Koda here. He is a well-trained dog, very popular in Middletown. He's part of the police canine unit in a team effort with his handler, Officer Bloom here. Thank you for taking time on your day off. Koda helps making the community a safe place to live by assisting the police department, building searches, locating missing persons, evidence recovery, apprehending fleeing criminals, narcotics detection, crowd control, and also public relations and education by conducting demonstrations throughout the community. Welcome, Canine Koda. So, Officer Bloom, how long have you been working with Koda?
I've been working with Koda now, coming up on 4 years for the canine unit. 7 years working with the police department.
And have you been his partner during that whole time?
The whole time. We got him when he was 2 years old from, we got him from Pennsylvania, but he originally came from Holland.
And what is his specific task? What is his main training cover?
His main training covers mostly like tracking, so we do a lot of like tracking of missing teens or runaways, or maybe an elderly person with like dementia or something like that got lost. Tracking suspects. So a lot of it's the tracking part of it. A lot of it too is evidence recovery. Like, so we basically can find anything with human odor on it. We do a lot of demos with, like, I'll have like students throw out like say like a cell phone or something. So you lost your cell phone in a field, and Koda can actually be able to find that. The other part is criminal apprehension. Like if we need to, it might be safer for the dog in some environments to a fleeing criminal or something like that, to use the dog as a tool for that, versus having to say like thick brush like with briars or something like that. It's easier for the dog to get in there, and it's not really safe for an officer to go in there. And a lot of it is the foundation of obedience. So we spend a lot of time, he's trained with the state police and patrol and Napawata and narcotics, and both programs, the foundation is obedience, and that's kind of how we start every training, and that's how we get him to do kind of the awesome things he does. With having a good foundation of obedience, with the always grand reward of the ball at the end, the ball, the tug. Koda's favorite ball right here, and was gifted by a special friend, Mia, who may or may not be in attendance right now.
We're going to bring Mia's mission up in just a minute. How long does he have to train before he's ready for the road and ready for field activity? So,
coming from Holland, there's probably, they put a little basic training into the dog there. But when we actually got him, it was four months with the state police, Monday through Friday, long days, a lot of training on your own time at home. And so yeah, 4 months to be road ready and certified, and then all the training after that.
So, and my job, I'm expected to do a certain amount of work. Sometimes that happens, and sometimes it doesn't. Is there like a quota system for Koda? Is there like a requirement of work?
No requirement of work. It's kind of just as needed. It's like, so you never know when you might need to. If there's somebody who just that gets lost or something like that, like we have to use the dog to go find them, because sometimes if people are having like a bad day, like mentally disturbed or something like that, and we want to make sure we keep everybody safe. So anytime that we can kind of use Koda, it was a great asset for things like that. And we kind of just liability reasons too. I mean, we want to make sure we pull out all the stops and trying to locate people, and whether it's a violent criminal too. I mean, just use every resource we have. So we would definitely use the dog in that situation. But as far as quotas, not so much. More like that, just as needed. Because again, you never know when he's needed.
How has Koda changed your life on a daily basis?
I mean, on a daily basis, it's I get to kind of hang out with a best friend and partner. going to work. I mean, he's with me. I do a lot of overtime shifts, so we spend a lot of time together. So not only is he my partner, but obviously like my best friend. So I'm a competitive person, and it's which has been kind of cool and rewarding is that all the time I put in with him benefits, you know, us as a canine team, us as a canine team in Middletown, benefits the police department, benefits the city. So it's really awesome that, you know, putting my efforts into something and seeing it kind of become more successful, or, you know, seeing all the hard work pay off. For me, that's been rewarding because, you know, just putting in the time and seeing the results. So it's been awesome to kind of work with him, you know, as a team to accomplish that.
What's the difference? There's different types of dogs. They're not just like, oh, one type of dog's going to do this. I mean, that is actually the case. What's the difference between a shepherd and, let's say, a lab?
Yeah, so we have 3 shepherds like Koda and Middletown Police Department. I'll give a shout out to them. Day shift, it's Canine Judge. Midnight shift, it's Canine Diesel. And then Koda's the evening shift Canine. So the shepherds are all ball rewards, so everything that we kind of train them to do, there's always the reward at the end of it. As you can see how excited he is. The shepherds at our police department are all trained in patrol, which is the tracking, evidence recovery, criminal apprehension, obedience, and all that. And we have one lab, Canine Castle, who's evening shift with Koda. And Castle's trained on food, so his single purpose is narcotics. So so for instance, when Koda locates the source of narcotics, he's trained through you know, our several thousand like fines and training to sit when he locates the source of the odor, or point if it's at a specific height, or down if it's like low, you know. But it's all like the trained responses that we kind of the indicators that we look for that shows us he's at the source of the odor. But when Canine Castle does the same thing, but he gets the food at the end of it. So Koda gets the ball as a reward, and the lab gets food, and that's how they train the labs, because they're so food driven.
I don't know, Koda, we might have to work on that. So his birthday is coming up. Do you celebrate that?
I do. Actually, every year I get him like a cake. Sing happy birthday to him. Actually, he actually has another a dog that I rescued. And we didn't know the exact date of his birthday, but we knew he was 6 months old. So I tried to backtrack his date, and it turns out to be kind of around the same time, like really like on to like a couple days. So Koda's birthday is August 25th, and the other dog, I'll give you a shout out too, Des, who's a blue-nosed pit bull. We celebrate their birthday on the same day, so they both get cake and, you know, do a whole little thing for them. Cake and steak and all that nice stuff.
Cake and steak.
Cake and steak.
Eating better than I do.
Yep.
Do you have a most memorable moment with Koda, something that really stands out?
There's a lot of them. I would say my favorite moment, and I'll kind of just go outside of our shift because, you know, he's had some, you know, I've been a proud handler with him for multiple things, but just keeping it as like a light and happy thing. Just probably the Canine Olympics a couple years back. Again, like all the training that we put in, I spent a lot of time with obedience with Koda, and he won the top obstacles at the Canine Olympics. I believe it was 2017. And so I was just really happy with that. I mean, I think that overall, like, you know, he did great. Like, just kind of showcasing his skills. And again, it's a fun setting and all that. But I am slightly competitive, so it was cool because, you know, just seeing him, like, I just think that was probably like the best, like, kind of obedience day that I've ever had with him. So just rewarding in the end, like, just, you know, having family and friends there be able to see what we do. Anyone who comes over to my house is always asked to do something for him to train. So whether it's throw an item out to have him search for it, or, you know, a friend, you know, putting a bike sleeve on or something like that, I'm always keeping my friends and family busy. So for them to show up at the Canine Olympics and be able to kind of see it in action, because, you know, when we're on the road together and we have a successful track or something like that, or we find evidence, really nobody else but a couple of coworkers might be there with us. So the Canine Olympics is cool because everyone got to be there, family and friends, and the ones who actually, you know, help us get better every day, we're able to actually see it firsthand, which is awesome.
So we prepared some questions. One of the questions was, does he have a playful side? But I think we're seeing that right here. This guy loves his job. If you were a construction worker, maybe not so much, but this guy is a great show. He's a great host. He's a great guest. What does he like to do when he's not working?
What does he not like to do, honestly?
No, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, he just likes to do everything. I mean, he's a very playful dog, very sociable, which is great. He does like to go on, hikes. He likes to stay active, but more than anything, and I've noticed this because some days, like, I might be tired, or let's face it, some days kind of lazy. But at the end of the day, you notice it in his behavior that, like, say, one day he's inside the house for too long, or he hasn't gone outside to exercise, or you notice he kind of gets restless, like even today when we brought him in here, like, it's like a Bowman China shop, like he's just, he'll do anything for this reward right here, but you can tell when he has a lot of energy. But days where he's not training are like miserable for him. So it's like, you really see it, like when I have to, I live, obviously he lives with me at home, or if we're on shift and we don't like train, you can tell like his life mission is to like work, you know what I mean, and work to achieving the ball reward. Is really what it's all about for him. So, he really just wants to stay moving. He likes to hike. He likes to be around other dogs, primarily non-shepherds, but he does get along with other shepherds too, as long as you expose him positively long enough. But yeah, mostly just anything, staying active, anything working, barking at people that are anywhere close to our house, which is somewhat annoying, but especially having a 1-year-old in the house. I mean, he often barks with the other dog and wakes him up several times a day. So, yeah.
So when he's not out there, when you're out in the community and you're on duty, how does he interact with just the general public and children specifically?
I would say like great. I mean, sometimes we'll go to a call and the kids will be like, "Oh, that's cool. You have a dog in there." I'm like, "Yeah, I have a dog." So I'll bring Koda out, introduce him to the kids. Sometimes we'll do like, if we have the time, we'll do like canine demonstration where I might have one of the kids throw out something into a field or into the grass, whatever. Show them how he uses his nose to find it, which is really cool because like a lot of the kids, they don't understand kind of what he does. So I kind of give them like the crash course about. Usually, like I said, usually it's evidence recovery. Well, he'll find something like, say, a pen out in the grass, and then afterwards, have him do like a little meet and greet with him, pet him, sometimes take pictures again if we have time. But that to me is important because it's not, for me it's about being well-rounded, right? So like, I want him to be the most well-rounded dog as possible. So that includes being social, that includes, being an asset to the community when we need them, to find people, to do whatever we need to do to help the city and the citizens, but also to help them whether they're having a bad day. I mean, sometimes seeing a dog, petting a dog can really change your entire day. But just his demeanor, he's so happy, like doing everything. When it comes to training or hiking, as long as he's doing something, he's happy. So that kind of rubs off on people.
So he's wearing a life vest. Now, he puts his life on the line. He's just like you and all the other officers. You're out there, you just don't know what's going to happen. Is this a real, like, bulletproof vest? Is it just a general protective gear? And talk a little bit about this specific gear here.
Yeah. Love this vest. So this is a specific vest that he can wear on shift, which is important because we work in all conditions. So in the summertime, it has like a little layer of mesh underneath it that kind of cools him a little bit because like with my vest, it's easy to sweat, so it kind of keeps him. It doesn't keep him cool per se, but it definitely doesn't overheat him. The way it sits on him, it's really less cumbersome than a lot of other vests, which again is great because some calls that we go to, we really don't have the time to like throw it on and everything. So like this stays on him all shift. And there's like everything that we do on shift, this kind of goes around the vest. I mean, the vest can do anything. It protects them from knives, it protects them from bullets, and really more importantly, it protects all of his like vital organs. And I have to thank Kim from Blue Paws Matter for the donation for the vest, because like I said, the vest, he wears it every day, every shift. And like I said, some calls you really don't have the time. Like if we didn't have the vest on, some calls we wouldn't have the time to stop the car, get out, get the vest from the trunk, put it on him. So like it's an absolute asset for me to kind of hit the ground running on some calls that like we have to get there as fast and start as fast as possible, that I can kind of pull him right out of the car and he's ready to go. With knowing that he has an extra layer of protection, which is pivotal to me. I mean, he's like I said, my partner, my best friend. I want to keep him safe,
Has it actually worked?
Well, I mean, so per se, like just you doing tracks and stuff. I mean, even having this extra protection going through briars, or I even have the handle that I can pick them up. I mean, we've had to, sometimes, like we track through all terrains, we go through searching all terrains, so I've had to pick them up using the handle. And absolutely, I mean, times we're kind of against something like, say a crime was committed or somebody went missing. A lot of the times we only start as fast as we can get there, or as fast as the call comes in. So I would say absolutely. It's hard to tell which ones it did actually work, but just being able to get to a call as fast as possible, and getting out of the car and like getting moving, which is important. To start as fast as possible.
So we have guests from Blue Paws Matter, and this toy he's playing with is from Mia's Mission. We're gonna bring her up now, if you don't mind. Don't be shy. What a little sweetheart. I was talking to her. So these toys, these are strong, durable toys. They're not really toys. Like, you were talking about, I could hang on this, and they're very difficult to make. We're not going to talk about how they're made. That's a trade secret. But how can we support? How can we buy these? Where do we get these? And where does that money go to?
Well, we don't actually sell them. We make them. We make them and we donate them on a basis just to working dogs and not just police dogs. But we've gone and ventured into the Department of Corrections. We've met some, service dogs that we've given them to. But yeah, we've received all of our items based more or less on donation. Played Against Sports in Southington. Janet has been one of our supporters since day one, and she's donated 3 or 4 dozen lacrosse balls to us.
Which is one of the balls that Koda has right now.
The rope we've gotten from various people that follow Mia's Instagram page, and a firefighter couple from Maryland donated our first batch of rope. A Berlin resident named Beverly, who she's a huge supporter of Canine Kasner, as well as all the other canines on the road, met up with us and gave us rope and more lacrosse balls. So it just, just comes from the community.
So you guys, you are genuine community heroes, and you are just a champion, and you are a great person. You're going to accomplish great things. You just got to speak up, be a little, be proud of what you're doing.
I'm Mia Finney. I came from Mia's Mission, MIAPHINNEY. It started in 2019 after we met Canine Kasner at a hockey game, and then we became Mia's Mission after that, and we've donated and met over 50 canines, and we have went all over the state of Connecticut and all as far as Florida. What we do is we make a toy like this one where we have boat rope, electric tape, and a lacrosse ball, and we go and we meet up with one of the canines, and this is basically a reward toy that we give them. I've been taught how to teach a canine that speaks in German, and I think I started learning another language for them, but I've learned plots, seats, and foos. And they have shown me that their partners can find something that you put in the field. Like, for instance, I used, they have like training phone stuff. Like, I used a phone, I hid it in the field, and the dog went and found it. I have played hide and seek pretty much with them. They've came and find me, or I have also led things where they find other people for fun. We met them last summer at their training facility, as well as his partners, Canine Judge and Canine Castle. We were at their training facility and we went over some obstacles that they had there, that I get to meet the canines in general. I want to be a canine handler, just like Amy and Kasner. Officer Amy Krakowski and Kasner are the reason that we started Mia's Mission. We met them and we started from there. This is Mini Kasner that I got for my birthday. you could contact us and we could give you some tips on how to make it and where you could find this stuff.
Or you can email us at musmission19@gmail.com, and either myself or me or both of us will reach back to you and, go from there.
Support them, send them the materials, send them money, support. These are great community heroes. And we're gonna get into Kim from Blue Paws Matter, so thank you. Mia, keep going, okay? Keep going, you are doing great. What a sweetheart, they're gonna love this. You're doing great.
Koda, come sit with me.
Don't be nervous.
Need a dog.
Don't be nervous.
Koda, come. Come here, Koda.
Okay, so you help the police departments, not just Middletown, I understand, but you help them actually get these, so they don't have to pay for these. Could you talk a little bit about these?
So we do fundraisers. We've done some comedy nights and raised over $12,000 in the 2 comedy shows we've done last year. So that's how we were able to get Koda his vest, because he was on the list through Brady's Canine Fund. So we help the Connecticut dogs that are on Brady's list, who's a little boy based out of Ohio. And he's donated a ton of vests to a lot of working dogs and police dogs. So I just think they need to be protected when they're out there. So it's just something I started 3 years ago, doing fundraisers and t-shirts and stickers, baseball caps. And we just roll with it.
So you have a very similar story. This is just something you were passionate about.
Yep.
And,
I'm a big animal lover, and I have 5 dogs of my own, so.
we all, we have dogs that were abandoned to us, so we all have similar dog stories.
Don't put me on the couch.
So how do we get in touch? Talk about what is Blue Paws Matter. Talk about that.
Oh, here we go. We're political here. This is what happens.
No politics here. Just talk about the good community
It's
service.
just, most people love animals, so they're willing to donate or buy t-shirts to help support the dogs that, are out there protecting us.
Right.
He's gonna yank me off the couch.
You can see these toys, Maya's toys. These are
Mia's toys are hanging in tight here.
ready to go.
Koda,
I'm bringing them
I didn't
home
throw it.
So Blue Paws Matter. What's the basic mission? How do we get in touch with them? What's the history?
We're on Facebook at Blue Paws Matter, Instagram as well, and if you want to email us, it's bluepaws1@gmail.com.
Okay.
So if you want to make donations or buy t-shirts or sweatshirts, stickers, we can ship them, or we can meet you somewhere to drop them off. So we've done, I think, over 20-something dogs with vests, and Brady's Canine Fund has helped us a ton.
What do you need the most? Do you need cash donations? Or?
Anything, if they want to donate, we have a PayPal account, we have Venmo, we can take,
So you guys are all over the place. If we
Yep.
just look up Blue Paws Matter,
you'll find us.
and we want to encourage our audience out there,
You will
definitely
find us.
support this, Mia's mission, and you got a shout out. You work at a.
Well, I work at a vet, yeah. I work at Beacon Valley in Naugatuck.
Beacon Valley. Shout out to them. We've been looking for a good vet.
Yep.
So, what are your plans for the future with this? Do you have a?
Well, this year's been tough because we haven't had any events, so I'm hoping by the end of the year we'll have another comedy night, because that seems to do well. And it gives the officers and their families a good night to come out and have a lot of laughs.
Yes, right. As you can see, I'm a knucklehead myself, so you might just see us at this comedy night.
Yep, we have a ton of raffles we do, and it's just a fun night.
So, how many of these vests would you estimate? I know I'm not trying to put you on the spot with an exact number. How many of these vests? How many dogs are you actually protecting out there? Your efforts?
In Connecticut,
Oh.
at least over 2. We've only done Connecticut,
Okay.
so there's over 20.
So there are
well over
20
20,
dogs
yeah.
being protected out there right now.
Yep.
Through your efforts. And the audience out there, you want to follow us on our Instagram pages and all of our social media, YouTube and Facebook and Twitter and all that. But this is great work you're doing. I think we'll bring Officer Koda back. Thank you, Kim, for Blue Paws Matter. Thank you, Xavier High School. This is a really beautiful high school. I've never been inside. Thank you, Officer, for getting this, and Nick and all the other staff that made this possible. Support Xavier. It's really sad to see these high schools empty. It really is sad. We're going to wrap this up with a couple more questions. What kind of measures do you take to protect Koda, other than the vest? You talked about the vest, but are there certain things like you won't send him in or things like that?
It's really all situational. Really, kind of hard to kind of put an answer to that one. I guess it all falls back on training. It's like the more you train, the more you have to fall back on. So, think about venturing off into the unknown. If all you have is kind of your instincts to fall back on, it's kind of easier to make a mistake. And obviously, in this field, a mistake can be detrimental. Our requirement is we have to train every month with the state police for the patrol side. So we'll do the tracking, the criminal apprehension work, the obedience, the evidence recovery. So it puts you in situations that, in training that when you experience it in the field, like at work, you actually have things to fall back on. So you say, look, we've done something similar to this before. This is what worked. This is what didn't work. So everything's really situationally dependent. Sometimes based on the situation, like if Koda could be in a direct harm for something, then it just wouldn't be worth, putting him at risk, or, and then in general, just kind of, day by day. So say like the average canine track, it's just based on a lot of different factors, based on what type of crime might have been committed, when it was committed, did the suspect potentially flee on foot or in a car. So he's not certified to track vehicle emissions, but just a bunch of different factors. Like, and again, what's the seriousness of it? Is it somebody that really needs our help? Is it somebody that wandered away and is lost, that maybe might be off their medication or might want to harm themselves? Or is it somebody who, just is taking a walk and blowing off steam? So it's all dependent on that. So I'll never put them in a situation unless, like, a dangerous situation like that, unless like it's absolutely necessary. Like if a civilian or an officer, is in severe harm or something like that, it would be a situation. I mean, he does his job, he does it well, but at the end of the day, we want to keep him as safe as possible. But I mean, with that being said, again, training. We train in all environments. We train in the rain. We train in snow. You never know when you're going to get called and what environment you're going to get called to and what time of day. We get called sometimes at 3 in the morning and have to get out of bed and get in the car, get ready, and rush over to wherever they need us. So it's important to train on shift. We train off duty. We train, like I said, a mandatory of 8 hours a month with patrol and state police. We train a mandatory 8 hours a month with NAPWADA for the narcotics side, which again, you just expose them to whatever scenarios you want to work on. Different conditions, a lot of exposure to things that you might not have been exposed to. That way, again, when stuff hits the fan, when you're on shift, that you have something to fall back on, which is training.
So, does he have so you talk about work and pay, so he's a regular employee. What's his retirement plan?
Well, his retirement plan would be just probably not as much training as we do every day, but he hasn't really slowed down at all. I mean, like I said, he's got a lot of energy. He loves to play. He loves any sort of the MIA training aids or the Kong, the red Kong ball with the medium kind of texture on it. He loves training aids. He loves playing with the jute toys, like the tug toys. So anything that he can kind of tug with and play around with, he loves. Post canine life, like I said, just keep training with him because that's what he needs every day. And just kind of relaxing, being a home pet, barking at the mailman, barking at anybody who drives down the road, going on hikes, hang out with his two brothers, human and canine brother. That's it for him, I think.
He has the same retirement program I have. This is my boss out there, not going to mention the name, but just work till you're done. That's it. There is your retirement is show up Monday morning at 8 p.m. Now we have some kids that wanted a specific question. We got a lot of children following us, so for the kids out there, they want to know an adult, a human, you're driving around, you got a couple of drinks and you got your food and you gotta go visit the bathroom. How does Koda do that? This is for the kids, and Elizabeth we were debating whether to answer this question or not. How does he tell you when he's gotta go?
He doesn't tell me, honestly. I'm kind of a freak about, obviously we're very busy on shift in the Middletown evening shift. We're pretty busy, but I always, no matter what, as long as it's not like an emergency call, I will always stop and let him out of the car. Sometimes, he might whine, but I usually don't let it get to that point. I mean, I typically let him out every 20 minutes to a half hour. If not just to go to the bathroom, just to stretch his legs, kind of get the blood flowing, kind of get in the game, you know what I mean? Because he's just like us. If you were at home just sitting on the couch all day and a call came in that you had to go do something that's whatever your line of work is, but if you're not ready for it, it's kind of hard to get into it, So I keep him. I want to make sure that he goes to the bathroom before we're needed on an emergency call or any call at all, because sometimes I'm a police officer first, so sometimes you might go to a call that takes a long time. You might have to be on scene for a while for whatever reason, and so it's important that I keep him hydrated on one side to keep obviously keep him as healthy as possible, but also make sure that he doesn't have to go to the bathroom. Because I take him out like crazy amount of times per shift. I'll take him out to just go to the bathroom, to just stretch his legs, to walk around, maybe do a little bit of training. But I just keep him engaged, keep him kind of going,
Okay, you kids up there, do you hear that? So they would, like, a bunch of different kids asked the same, but they didn't ask any other question. They didn't want to know anything else. So thank you for that. And basically, Koda's okay. We're taking care of him out there. He's getting hydrated. He's stretching his legs, and he's sniffing fire hydrants like dogs are wont to do.
Well, and keeping him safe and healthy, like from the questions before, is imperative. We want to make sure Koda works with the city of Middletown for as long as absolutely possible. So his health is paramount. With just what I feed him, he's on a half raw diet, half raw, half kibble. There's tons of he's on fish oil, multivitamins, glucosamine for his joints. So I mean, he's on more vitamins than 99% of humans. But again, the stuff we have to do with him, like having him jump up things, having tracking through the woods, it's dogs can get hurt, they're just like us. But he's fearless, so some of the things he does is of course you're gonna get hurt with that, But just based on the diet and constantly making sure he has fresh water and going to the bathroom and again the vitamins and just keep him as healthy as possible. Put him in situations where that there's minimal certainty of risk. Sometimes we don't have that choice. Sometimes we don't know what we're getting into. Sometimes he had a time where he was searching for a bad guy and there was a drop off. He fell off the drop off. It's in the dark. He can't see sometimes. So just keep him as healthy as possible, kind of all around. Diet, scenarios, the vitamins, and all that. So and the best.
He is well loved. Thank you, Blue Cross there. Hey, how do we support the canine units in Middletown, across the country, and just in general? How do we support you? How do we reach out and help?
Yeah, so you can reach out to myself, or we're on. Koda actually has his own Instagram page. It's Canine Koda MPD, where we show just pictures of him having fun, or here we go looking for another green media, but. Pictures just out in the community, pictures of maybe training, videos and stuff like that. That's his personal page. Our canine unit from the Middletown Police Department has our own. It's Middletown CT Police Canine. We also have a nonprofit fund through in Middletown. We're taking donations from the public, and we might buy certain things for our canine unit that we might need. So just reach out to me, reach out to anyone in the canine unit. I'm sure, like you guys said, there'll be maybe a hashtag or something with our Instagram names. I'll always respond to messages there, or our Facebook page, just to kind of accept donations or whatever that somebody wants to do. I mean, whether it's training aids like we're with Mia, the rope or the ball, we'll take. If somebody wants to donate a Kong, we'll always go use. So.
And that's how you got involved with Mia's mission and Blue Cross Matters. This is what community heroes look like. We're all in this together right now, especially these dark times. And what happened with the power failure, we just got power back. This is really important stuff. So community heroes can have 4 paws and a tail, just like people can have 2 legs, and just we're all out there. Thank you all from the listening tree. Do we have a shout out?
Yeah, I just want to thank you guys for having us today. Definitely thank Xavier High School, which happens to be my high school. Graduate of 2004 here. So thank you, Nick and Xavier High School, for having us. I want to thank, again, everybody coming today. I know that not everybody's close by here on a Sunday. And also, I just want to thank the community for all the support they've shown to our canine unit, whether it's messages in our Facebook or Koda's personal page or on Instagram, the Middletown Police Canine page. Everyone's always been supportive of our canine unit, whether it's donating toys or treats, just saying thank you, just reaching out to us, or just day by day going in the community and having kids be out, happy to meet the dog and happy to see what he does or happy to ask any questions. It means a lot to us. Obviously, these are our partners, our best friends. So we enjoy being around you guys. We enjoy doing demonstrations for you. We enjoy having you meet the dogs. So anytime that anybody ever wants to meet Koda or see a demonstration, just reach out to us on social media, and we'll be happy to do so.
Thank you for all the people that help support Mia's mission and everything that we do.
Yeah, because it's important for them to get donations to make these training aids, and especially with Kim and Blue Paws Matter, it's important that they get those donations so they can be able to provide these vests. So again, big thank you to the community for providing those supplies, for providing donations monetarily to make that happen. Thank Middletown PD for allowing me this interview, and yeah, we look forward to events going forward once this virus kind of takes a back seat. We look forward to the Canine Olympics and maybe the Dream Ride competition at some point, or whatever we can be involved in. But we got to defeat this virus first.
Thank you everybody that took a Sunday off on this gorgeous day, taking time for this. I know you had to get dressed in your work clothes, and I know what that's like. I'm a painter, so I have the whole get up too. So it's really nice that you did this. We want to thank you all. This show will be releasing it on Koda's birthday. Happy birthday, Koda.
6 years old, I'll be.
Thank you, Kim. Thank you,
Yeah.
Officer Matthew Bloom. Thank you, Mia. Thank you, our guest, right? Our audience. Thank you. We have a live audience over here, so thank you for that. And for the camerawoman and Xavier High. Thank you, Middletown Police Department, for allowing this. All of the social media, and we thank you all. Have a nice night. Our next episode is going to be coming from Amsterdam, and that'll be on our next show. Everybody here, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you for all of your contributions. Together, we're making the world better. Have a nice day, everybody. Hearts from the listening tree.
Over. Stay.